Hi everybody, my name is Viviana Velasquez. This is a presentation, the final task presentation for the course Testing and Evaluation in ELT, which is based on the assessment according to a Colombian educational level. So today I will share with you the presentation I did according to the requirements for this final task. Basically, I chose the topic to work today about self-assessment of vocabulary and relevant language skills for evaluation purposes. This topic I chose them related to the educational program which I am teaching at SENA institution, which it is based on English for a specific purpose. These students need to learn a specific vocabulary to have a competence or a professional profile according to the program they are having in a technology high education program. So basically this topic was chosen because I think it is really important for these high educational learners to understand and to apply vocabulary which is gonna be very necessary for their laboral field. Well, as we know, self-assessment is basically a necessary tool to be developed into adult learners, especially. Of course, it is possible for children also, but it is going to be a little more difficult for them to be aware about the strengths or weaknesses they have. But basically, for adult learners, it is a really necessary tool which help themselves to comprehend and to improve the abilities they have and they need to get the necessary level for their professional competence. So basically, the self-assessment try to help the learners to avoid mistakes which they can be aware or conscious about them, and they can improve them and help also to correct themselves if it is necessary. On the other hand, as I mentioned before, this topic or the assessment I will present in this video, it's based on English for a specific purpose, because they have specific programs which are developing different competencies. So, as I mentioned before, I worked with SENA students, so they have different programs like marketing programs, they have banking programs, they have international business program, so on. So, it is important for them, the adult learners in this case. I have people from the average of 18 years old to 25, 27 years old. So the English is for a specific purpose tend to always be worked on adult learners because they need to be trained in a specific field, as I mentioned, marketing or negotiation or banking, and they are a little bit more responsible and autonomous in the way they learned, and at the same time they can be aware about their self learning process. So it means that they can evaluate themselves and they can think if they are doing their process in a correct way or they need to improve and to practice a little bit more, or the specific skills they need to improve to get the competence they need. Well, Again, as we know, the self-assessment helps to monitor the learners, in this case the higher education programs, about the weaknesses or the strengths they have for learning the language. As in this case it is based on vocabulary, it is important for them to manage some basic vocabulary in a general English, but also they need to learn a lot of vocabulary related to their specific field. For example, in the case of banking, they need to know how to say impuesto, or how to say ingreso or pasivo, those specific words which are very important in our mother tongue. Of course, in this specific field, it is necessary to know. And also because they have some controlled guide which are based on real material, right, which are tests that comes in the mother tongue, which is English. So it is important for them to manage all the vocabulary, to understand the readings or the specific test teachers offer them to learn concepts or terms which are very important for their laboral field. So in this case, vocabulary, it is necessary to work and be improved because they need to face all the situations, right? As they need to handle difficult clients in a negotiation, or they need to know how to open a bank account, so they need to know how to fill up the forms, or maybe they need to get some resources from a different country, which it's only necessary to speak in English. So it is really, really important for all these programs, high education programs, to based most of the time in vocabulary for specific purposes. Depends, of course, on the program they are studying. Well, in this evaluation proposal, I have both methods of assessments. We have the qualitative assessment and we have the quantitative assessment. In the qualitative assessment, to check the vocabulary the learners are getting, we can practice, or we can evaluate these learners by means of presentations, oral presentations, right? Or we can make them to work on projects, which is the one that I want to go a little more or go deeper into. The cross-curricular activities, which is going to be connected also with the projects. Teamwork tasks, the teamworks, they can work on the classrooms, and also to check the specific activities we can create into the classroom, like a little controlled activities, which are helping teachers to check the improvements of the students about vocabulary. In the case of quantitative assessments, we can work, or usually I work with specific forms like vocabulary quizzes, which are numerical scores, formal tests, which could be multiple choices to understand concepts or terms. We have some checklists according to presentations. Also, we have rating scales, or the questionnaires, which are very useful in this case to check the understanding of students. In this case, as you can see in the image, we have some games which students can make to practice vocabulary, and they can interact with the other students, right? In this case, we have a picture which refers to marketing games. They were working on vocabulary related to marketing, and they let the other students practice the vocabulary according to this. And on the quantitative assessment, in this example, we have a guide which controls a little bit the writing production, but also they have some questions as a measure possibility for checking the understanding of vocabulary. So we can use both assessments as well, qualitative assessment as well as a quantitative forums too. For this evaluation proposal, I present a possible activity, which is a cross-curricular activity. There is a business project. In this case, the students they need to create a business group or a business project, which they have to create a company or a service or products which they can offer to their partners. So in this case, we can use a qualitative assessment to get to know the vocabulary the students are managing at the moment of this activity. So in this qualitative assessment, I propose to get this evaluation. So they have to create a business project. It will be a product or service. They have to make a survey, which let to know the viability of the project, if it is viable or not, if it is possible to create it or not. They need to create the SWOT chart, which it means the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats they can face at the moment of creating the product or their service. They need to make a segmentation process because, well, in this case, I am taking marketing students, which they already know this part of the way how to segment population because they have it in the specific classes. So I want to relate these specific classes, the cross-curriculum part, including English at this time. So they can describe how they can collect information and how they can segment the population they are offering the product to. They need to create, of course, the advertising and marketing strategies to launch their product or their service in this case. So they need to use a lot of vocabulary related to marketing. They need to use the competence they already have about marketing and try to apply and bring all this information or all this knowledge to our English classes. So it will be a cross-curriculum activity. We can observe the way they are using this vocabulary, and of course we are also observing how they use English for a specific purpose. In this case, apply it in a real thing, because they are going to face after they finish projects and those reports they need to do. So the idea to evaluate or to assess this activity is to create a business meeting where they are going to present all the products, and they are going to tell us where is the mission, the vision, the objectives of the products, and how they can offer these products to the people. So it is a really interesting activity we can assess. Here we have some pictures, about an actual business meeting which was held some months ago, and they create, as you can see, different products. They talk to people. Of course, all the project was spoken in English, so it was really an interesting activity because they really use English and they were into the ideas. So that's everything I have for this video. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watch it. Bye.